Hello everyone, welcome to these exciting Art House Urban Bright Arts and Education videos. Art House's mission is to inspire exploration and expression in the visual arts. We work with professional artists who will be instructing you on some amazing arts and crafts projects. Are you ready?
And we should be in a good position to start filling in our cardinal. It's orange, and I'm just going to start blocking him in. So, cardinals are very pretty, bright red birds, but that's the males. The females are a little more gray. It's always been an interesting thing how birds, like the males, are so much brighter and more colorful than the females to attract a mate. So yeah, we're just filling in this little bird with some orange. We're gonna really build him up to be a bright, brilliant red. Just takes a little bit of time. Might layer a little more orange onto him, but we're gonna mix our red. We're actually going to use a decent amount of this. Get that red going, because we are going to have to take some to make darker shades of red to get the shadows under his wings and some of the details in. And again, it's a little more of an impression. It's not going to be every little feather and every little detail of him, but just to get the idea of a nice, beautiful little cardinal. So I'm going to start blacking in some red. And I'm going to leave, the light is going to be coming from this corner. So I'm going to leave some areas of light right in his face and a little bit on his head. But I might outline parts of it with a little bit of that normal red. And I see I'm going to go under his wing to start establishing a little bit of that depth, and then his body before it becomes his tail. So he has like a little lines in his tail as well. You can see almost that like gouache has a bit of a almost chalky texture when it's drying. So he kind of, his wing kind of comes up to here before it kind of goes into his like actual, they kind of almost have like gray wingtips. So like this area here is a little more gray. And I'm gonna, again, it's not gonna be too much darker, but I'm gonna kind of give a thought to light over here. To add in, and I'm actually going to mix some of this orange in here and start blending it with the brighter red. So he's a little more consistent. Maroon color over here. Ooh, that's like purple. I need a little more a little red in here. And that's the nice thing too, is purple does blend amazingly with red because they're very close to each other on the color wheel. And one thing I learned with painting in classes and stuff is to not shade with black, but to shade with darker versions of the color. That also means using colors like purples and blues, which you wouldn't maybe think of when you look at a cardinal, but those can help you start to see the value in things, because not everything is just a pure black, especially not how light works on animals and people. Like, you wouldn't look at a shadow on your skin and say, wow, that's perfectly black. It's like a darker version of your original skin tone. So like, because I have like a very like whitish peach, it's like gets a little more like darker or tan. It just kind of depends. Or someone with darker skin, it might look a little closer to a black, but it'll still be more of like a tone to their skin rather than just a pure black color. So I'm just continuing to block him in. We might have to let him dry a little before I continue shading him in with the darker tones, putting a little more bright red into him. I might actually accent and put in his black face, his little black area on his face. So I'm actually going to use like, I think these are small enough. I want to use like a smaller brush just to get the little details in. And I'm not going to use a pure black for his face, not yet at least. So I'm going to take some of this purple color, mix some of this gray color we made earlier, this dark brown gray with the reddish. Because again, you don't want to use like pure black on things. Like people who have black hair, it's usually just a very dark brown and they're mixed. Colors are very unique on how they like blend together. So let me see, so that's darker. I think for a first coat on that, that should be good. So we're gonna go around his little beak. We started doing the blotting. I'm gonna start kind of putting in some cloud. It doesn't have to be super thick either, just kind of water. And these are, again, we'll blend more into them with time. With clouds, you don't want to always do the like typical kind of like shape where it's like that, like the really poofy shape. Clouds are gas in the sky. It's just water, and so their shape changes. And with that, like their shadows and stuff change. As you can see, some of the blue underneath my white is activating as I paint over it, which is totally fine because you kind of want some of that blue reflected into the clouds from your sky. And we're going to probably relayer over those in a little bit. For right now, I'm going to let that sit. What we are going to do is we're going to do the legs and the beak of our bird. So the legs and the beak are kind of like a almost peaches peach-ish color. And I'm kind of going to use like this orange we had already, and I'm going to use it just really lightly and go over it. So it's coming out really dark right now, but I'm going to go in and add a little bit of water to it as well. We're going to have more light on the top of the beak than on the bottom, because where the light is coming from. So right now it kind of looks like he has like a chicken beak. It's very bright. Using a little bit of water will pull up some of that. We're gonna put white in there too to really give a depth to our little bird. So I'm gonna continue. For the legs, I'm gonna use a little bit less, and I'm gonna put it more at the edges of his toes. Actually fill it in this back one here. Okay. But yeah, it doesn't have to be super clean, because I'm gonna go over it with just some water and spread the rest of it out. You don't want it to be too in your face. Like this one's a little too dark, so I'm gonna pull that out a little bit. So his legs are there, and we might go back in with shadows on that in a little bit. And a little red to his beak, because their beaks are kind of red, just like their bodies. And I'm gonna mix some of that with just a little bit of water. You see how it's a little highlight on the top of his beak, but I can still go in with a little bit of white and just kind of mix it in. I'm gonna do that kind of on parts of his body as well. As I said before, I'm gonna go in now with some of that pure black on his face. So right now it's really only like a dark brown, so I'm going with a little bit of pure black. Right, you can see the difference. I'm gonna put that underneath the areas where the highlight is to really make it stand out. A little bit here. Around the beak a bit. Put a little bit right behind his eye. I'm actually going to use this dark black to fill in his eye. So you can see his eye is going to be very black. And I'm going to go in and put a highlight in it in a minute. Alright, so we're going to use that pure white again. And we're going to put a little highlight right where that light is coming from. Go over it again because it's almost a little too bright. And then I might go around that eye just to make sure it's there. Start making some different shades of green. So over here we have one, another one, and another one. So we're gonna probably have like a really light one, a normal green like here, and then a really dark one. So first I'm gonna make a really light one over here. See, I even have like one that's a little lighter over where the white was that I can still use as well. Because why not, you know? Might as well use what you create. So we have that. We have the green. Then I'm going to use the black over here. Ooh, that might be a little too much black. We're gonna make a nice, rich, dark green here. these are gonna go into our background. So this is a little bit of a stockier bird than my original piece. I might still need a little more shadows and stuff on him. I even put a little bit of moss in the original one growing on the tree branches, just to add a little something. So I'm gonna do that just because it's kind of fun. Now I'm gonna start with my darkest one. Hopefully everything else is dry enough. I'm gonna do one like right here. So I'm gonna do a vine. And then start filling in some leaves. You can see that white from the cloud is kind of blending in there as well. Close to the end of this little project. But yeah, it's all a matter of patience and blending and just doing a little bit of everything until you get kind of something that you're happy with. So there's some light coming in on this side, so we're gonna probably have a few of these have some highlights. I'm gonna bring some more natural light into our piece. But sometimes you don't want it to be so straight white. It's nice to have like a little yellow to it. I'm gonna add a little bit of this yellow into the clouds. Right, like on the tops of these ones, kind of where the light is coming from. Just so I think I might be able to call that done for our painting. It's just a matter of playing around and experimenting a bit. Once that dries, I think it should look really nice. So what we're gonna do, just to finish it off while it dries, is we are gonna peel off our corners to see the nice clean finish. And there you have it. A nice little gouache cardinal painting. Thank you so much for watching, and we hope to see you in the next video. And again, my name is Megan Frabel, and I'm a summer intern with Art House. And I'll see you next time.
Thank you for listening to Art House's video today. Don't forget to like, share, and comment with what you've made. Tune in to another instruction video on our Facebook, Instagram, and our YouTube page. We are grateful to our funders and individual donors who have made this programming possible. We also wish to thank Lil Blizzard Boy from Refresh Collective for our background music. See you soon!